wow, there's a microphone. Let's use that. So I'm Evo. Hi. For those of you I haven't met before, that sounds fine. Oh, see, now this is where we've got too many laptops on a desk. Let's see if I can make this work. Thanks. So like I said, my name's Evo Heyning. I am an interactive producer. I'm also an interactive designer, and I like working with new tools and methods for understanding love, intimacy, and network culture. So what I want you to do as we begin to drop in is to take a moment, and what we're going to be doing is just tuning into our relationships. On the card in your hand, I want you to draw what is most meaningful for you in relationship. And what we're going to do is to start with yourself. I want you to take a moment and draw some representation of you. It can be a sigil, a symbol, a circle, a dot, anything that helps you identify yourself. So we're talking about your perspective in relationships, and these maps can be orbital, topographical. Your love landscape can look differently depending on your perspective. So I want you to think about how you like to draw and diagram. It can be a mind map, a flow chart, or a picture. I want you to think first about the people you love most in your life, the people you are most intimate with right now. Draw some representation of the person closest to you. Draw them physically as close as you feel them to be in your world. Again, these can be dots, stick figures, arrows moving in and out, planets in orbit. Focus on the distance and the connection more than what you're actually drawing. Many of us have seen family trees. This is one version. But there's lots of different ways to think about the signal you're putting out. So I want you to begin to think about the lovers, the friends, and the family closest to you. I want you to start to draw those people around you. Draw how they're connected. Think about the people who pick you up when you're down, the people who give you a hug on a bad day. Think about the signal that they send you and that you send them. And think about the quality of that signal. Draw the people who are tuned into you, even if they're on the periphery of your inner circle. They may not be people you are intimate with, but they may be people you love and appreciate. And for some of you, this is a huge network of hundreds or thousands of people who are tuning into you on a regular basis. It can begin to get unwieldy. Tuning is directly connected to capacity. So I want you to begin to think about your capacity. How many figures are you drawing on your card? How many people do you love? How many people can you love? Think about attention and time. And think about the heart that you share as an open aperture that you can close and open. So what levels feel right to you right now? And what relationships do you want to tune up? For some people, these maps become very interesting over time. Many of us have former friends and lovers and family who move in and out of our lives. And human circuitry can look like lots of different types of maps. This is from the movie Love Actually. So this is one network of people and how they're connected. But for many of us, we have to limit it in some way. We have to begin to talk about how do we focus love and what does that mean to us. For many of us, we bump up into our ideas of trust when we begin to draw who do we actually love on our map. And so I want you to think about if you were hosting a dinner party and you invited the people you trust the most, who's at your trust table? Who are the people who get to pick up your kids after school, or who get your passwords if something happens to you, or who you want to plan your memorial? Who are the ones who are in your intimate circle right now? Are they your in case of emergency? Have you talked to them about that role in your life? Because the levels of intimacy are different, and you're giving people a physical seat at your table. On your cards, if you have colors or begin to code things, you can note who's your emergency contact. Use a star, use anything that helps you designate, because these circuits look different for everyone. Families grow and shift, and our ability to trust many people changes over time. Our organizational systems change over time as well. So do you keep thinking of people you want to add to your map, or spaces that you see there for someone new? Maybe a friend that is here at Bill? Creating a legend and a way to begin to talk about the levels of intimacy is a good way to begin to communicate these skills. So however you choose to communicate those levels of intimacy, right? There's a scale here. Some of you were complete strangers to me last year, and I would totally cuddle up with you on a boat right now, right? So how do I begin to tell this person that you're a 7 to me? And they're a 4, but I might be willing to have you as a 7 in my life. Or I'm not available for that right now, but I might be available for this. This is what my map starts to look like over time. Because each of us defines home differently, and we draw it out differently too. This was drawn by our housemate Nova, and this is one way that a kid begins to describe the polycule relationship, right? This is all the people who live in our home, including pets and the startup baby, and all of the folks who become a part of our family, whether they're intimate with us or they're in our lives. And some of us have more complex polycules and very detailed love maps, and sometimes they're really hard to describe. And sometimes they get really twisted up over time. So this is from the L word. But if you tried to do Bill, like if you tried to map a good group of Bill, it might look something like this as well. At MIT, we used to use symbols and dotted lines and different ways to designate it. But there's a lot of different ways that people design their relationships. So I want you to focus back in on yourself for a second. Focus on your own life and your availability, your openness, what you're inviting in. I want you to think about the opportunities to heal old relationships and the openings for new ones, and what you want to invite in next. So, as you're beginning to tune in on those pieces, think about the connection, the bond that you want to build. Not necessarily what you have right now, but the people in your inner circle, or the people that you see in orbit that are coming back in. How do you begin to qualify that? And what kinds of love do you want on your map? If you're still drawing, that's cool. If you are almost done and you want to take a moment and kind of stretch and get back into your body, I want you to take a few moments as you play out, also come back into yourself and tune into what you actually want. A lot of people are going to love you for a lot of different reasons. And you get to choose how you engage with that and how you communicate it. We're not going to do too much in the way of actually sharing in this space, but I want to encourage you to look around the room for a minute. And if you see someone that you want to share your map with after, take a few minutes and be open enough to say, here's what I drew, and here's why. Here's where I got stuck. Here's where I didn't know how to be more open yet. Here's where I want to be more available. So my name's Evo. I encourage you to use this as one experiment that you can do at home with the people you love, whoever they may be. If you want to tag them and send them to me, I'd love to see them. So this is where you can find me, and thank you for taking a few moments to do some drawing and reflecting together. I believe we have a little bit of time. Do we have a few minutes? Beautiful. Okay. I want to do this with you for a second. Can you come up here?
Oh, with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we take a moment?
Sure.
You're willing to improv with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's play.
So when I ask you how many people you love, how do you answer that?
Well, it's hard to answer because I have different ideas of what love. I would probably ask another question back on what kind of love or what level of love or what,
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to visualize it before?
Yeah.
And have you tried to communicate that visual tool with others that you're in relationship with?
I think so. Yeah.
How did that go?
I find it just makes me more conscious of it. It makes me more conscious of kind of I don't know, we tend to see our world sometimes monolithically, and I guess for me it breaks it down. It reminds me that I have very different relationships with different people. Yeah.
So I'm going to pass off the mic to you. Thank you for being patient.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Evo. Thank you, Evo.